The LSU fans liking what they're seeing here so far, and I don't just mean that cotton candy. No, they're proud of their Tigers. LSU gymnastics team with the lead over Georgia after one, but in the second rotation, the Gym Dogs will be on vault, an event that has been very strong for them as of late, coming off a season high 49.275 against Florida. And one of the leaders for this team this year, a role that maybe she's not quite used to, is senior Michelle Emmons.
It's a very different role for me, actually, because there was a class of 6 sophomores, juniors, seniors ahead of me, that whole class before me, and they were so huge, so I was always just looking up to them, and then next thing you know, I was at the top. So it's definitely been hard and different, and with my personality, I would like to lead more of just examples instead of, you know, yelling at the girls and saying, you need to do this. It's kind of hard for me to do, but I mean, I just try and be there for them, give them support.
Michelle's having a fantastic senior year. She's increased her difficulty on several events, including this one, and she's getting better and better with every competition. Take a look at the distance on that vault. She lands at the very end of the landing mat. Excellent job.
Michelle, the only senior on a very young Georgia team, and doing a good job of leading in this event for sure.
Take a look at the collar. That's the mat around the board. Very important for safety reasons. You see that Michelle hits the end of the vaulting board and the end of the table. That's why she gets that incredible distance, but it's almost a little bit scary.
Well, she gets a 9-9 for it. She survives with a big score. LSU preparing to compete in this rotation on bars. This is an event where the Tigers are very strong. You remember Georgia coach Suzanne Yocklin saying that this is an event that she admits LSU is better than Georgia. So we'll see just how good they are. One of the best gymnasts in the country, April Burkholder, competing now.
Rise to handstand. Both Dee Dee and Suzanne have mentioned the importance of the stuck landings and the handstands on this event. There's assistant coach Philip Ogletree stepping in when needed on those major release elements. Dee Dee says Philip has done an excellent job in preparing this team. Nice dismount, double layout, but she does take the step on the landing, a very obvious deduction.
Well, April had a big score in the first rotation, 9.95 on vault. That put her in the lead in the all-around, but we'll just have to see how she scores on this one.
There's her release element. It's called a ginger. She does an excellent job in tapping her toes up. That gives her tremendous height. Very beautiful.
April Burkholder with a 9.8. That is below her season average just a little bit, but still a good score. And we'll see the freshman, Katie Heenan, again for Georgia.
Again, the Yurchenko full. Oh, just a tiny movement of that back foot and an excellent vault.
Katie had a great performance in the first rotation, season high 9.875 on bars, and she follows it up with a strong vault.
This vault is scored out of a maximum of a 10, and that is what every team is looking for. 6 vaults scored out of a 10. Slight elbow bend on the horse, and then just that tiny movement of the heel, half-tenth and a half-tenth, so a 9-9, good score.
Yeah, I think the Georgia Gym Dogs will take that 2 season highs, but Lisa Rennie is ready to compete for LSU. LSU Tigers stay out in front.
Lisa says this is her favorite event, and she has a routine packed full of very intricate elements. Starting with this section here, toe on, she pirouettes in and out of that eagle grip. Extremely difficult hand position. Back down to the low bar. Oh, almost a mistake right there. 1/10 deduction for the big arch in the back. Taking it home, dismount. Front with a half. She kicks open, finds the landing. Pretty good routine.
And this is really Lisa's specialty. She does do 3 events for LSU, but this is the one where her average is the highest.
From eagle grip, a full pirouette on one arm that's called a heelie. Very difficult, intricate pirouette work. Down to the low bar for the shoot over to handstand. Yes, she struggles a little bit with her form there, but she did hang on. She could have taken a 5/10 deduction in the fall.
Lisa hangs on for a season high 9.85, just kind of gives you an idea of her potential. She hits that handstand, that score is going to go even higher. Meanwhile, the final performer in rotation number 2, Ashley Kupets for Georgia.
And finally, we're going to see some variety in the style of vaulting here. So difficult, half onto the horse, front pike, but boy, she takes that big step on the landing.
Ashley not quite able to stick that landing as Coach Suzanne Yakun would hope that she would do at the end of that vault.
Much more difficult vault to nail than the more common layout full. The half onto the table makes this vault a little more advanced in terms of the technique and timing, plus the blind landing. There's no view of the mat. It's so difficult to nail it.
Well, Ashley Kupets receives a 9.775 to round out the scoring for Georgia in this second rotation. Gym Dogs receive a 49.225, very good score. Maybe trying to make up a little of that room on LSU, but the Tigers still have one competitor remaining. Annie Gagnon on bars, and she holds the top mark in the SEC on this apparatus this season with a 9.925.
She has excellent form on this event. Beautiful body positions and line. Nice quick handstand to start the routine off. That element there, a major release move, is called the Horkina. Well, another problem with the handstand there, going over, but she's covering up with a half turn and a switch kip on the low bar. Again, that could have been devastating for LSU, a possible fall, but she covers up. And the dismount, beautiful stretch position in the double layout, and a good landing.
So we're seeing these LSU gymnasts making a few little mistakes, but finding a way, Lori, to keep them little and not turn them into big mistakes with a fall.
We are seeing some tremendous fight from the Tigers here. Remember, every dual meet competition is a learning experience. They need this type of experience against tough opponents like Georgia to prepare them for the big meets like SECs and regionals, and of course nationals.
Yeah, that's a big one coming up at the end. Well, LSU finishes rotation number 2 with a 49.1. Good score, but not quite as good as Georgia's in this rotation. The Gym Dogs able to make up a little room. Dee Bro trying to rally her troops for the next rotation. LSU still leads. We'll see if Georgia can continue to close that gap when we come back.